Recently on the channel, we've been taking a look at some of the cut and unused content taken from the old Pokemon games. However though, did you know that a bunch of Pokemon used to look completely different, some of which may even be your favorite ones today? So within this video, we're going to be taking a look at 10 Pokemon that used to look completely different. If you're excited for the video, please do drop a like down below, it really does help out. Let's try and hit 600 likes. Make sure to drop a comment, which Pokemon are you glad got a redesign? And of course subscribe if you're brand new, we do daily Pokemon content on this channel. With all of that out of the way though, let's get into the video and take a look at what some Pokemon used to look like. Coming up first, we have Porygon 2. Now, of course, this Pokemon was introduced in Pokemon Gold and Pokemon Silver, being the evolution of Porygon, the data Pokemon, or however you want to pronounce it. However, though, it used to look completely different. And when I say completely, I mean I'm glad it got a redesign. This is what Porygon 2 used to look like. So as you can see, for some reason Porygon has turned into a lion. It's got a bunch of blue different balls on its head. It's got a marrow tail. And I just don't really understand how Porygon could have evolved into something like this. I'm very, very happy that it did get redesigned into what Porygon 2 looks like today. But just imagine if this Pokemon made the final cut. Now, we only found out about this Pokemon because of the Space World 1997 demo, which basically showed all of those Generation 2 Pokemon that never made the final game. But yeah, just a huge hats off to whoever looked at this design and went, "We talking about? It's bloody awful, mate." Coming up next is actually a Pokemon that has just been introduced into the franchise, and that is Farfetchd. Way back when, in the 1997 demo, we did actually find out about an evolution for Farfetchd, which was supposed to be in Pokemon Gold and Silver. As you can see on your screen right now, this was supposed to be that said evolution. And don't worry, not all these Pokemon are going to be from this demo. These are just a couple that made a huge change into what they are today. So, as you can see, Farfetchd does have some sort of green weapon, the evolution. It does have this mask on its face as well, and it just has a huge wing. And then of course Farfetchd was introduced in Pokemon Sword and Shield, having a shield and a sword. But if I were gonna compare the two evolutions of Farfetchd, definitely a lot happier with Farfetchd and how that turned out in regards to the evolution of Farfetchd that was supposed to be out in Pokemon Gold and Pokemon Silver. Coming up next is one of the craziest ones, and something that I only just found out about thanks to making this video, and it is the other Blastoise. We all love Blastoise, never shoots water out of its cannons, but whatever, we still go with it. However though, it did used to look completely different. Now, per a leaked set of Gen 1 beta assets leaked in early 2019, so very recent, we've got a brand new different version of Blastoise. So it would be Squirtle, Wartortle, and then what this is, whatever the hell it is, I don't know. It didn't have a name before it disappeared into the wild unknown, but as you can see, it definitely takes a lot more inspiration from Wartortle. Wartortle does seem really out of place. Squirtle randomly grows these white ears and this big white tail and then just loses them. So this is why it got them, because it was supposed to evolve into this Blastoise that, of course, we didn't have a clue about until early 2019. Kind of crazy though, because like I say, only just found out about this. It also had a back sprite, as you can see as well, in the game. Coming up next is a early design of Tortuga. Now, Tortuga is a Pokemon from the 5th generation of games, Pokemon Black and Pokemon White, and the creature definitely used to look a lot different in the old game. So a piece of promotional artwork from the development period for Pokemon Gold and Pokemon Silver shows off a creature that didn't really make the final game, and it is this on your screen right now. It clearly resembles Tortuga, but instead of fins, it has legs and stuff. And as you can see, the shell also looks a lot different. So the 5th generation of Pokemon games features several sly references to earlier games. Fans have also noted that the Pokemon Muna, which is pink with a floral pattern, matches a line of NPC text from the original games, wherein a Pokemon trainer wishes that there were a pink floral Pokemon in the area. So there is a lot of roots to Generation 1 from Generation 5, and that also may fit Tortuga as well, as you can kind of see that it is the same Pokemon. Coming up next is a Pokemon that you may have heard about before, and it is Lazias, or however you pronounce it. Either way, it is a mashup of Blaziken and Latias. So it's clear from early art documents for Pokemon Ruby and Pokemon Sapphire that some of the Pokemon designs for the game went through substantial changes quite late into the game's development. In one case, Game Freak took a single Pokemon design and just sliced it up, just chopped it up, and creating 3 new creatures out of a single piece of concept art, commonly known as Lazias by fans. The artwork shows a trainer riding on top of a bird Pokemon with arms and legs. The design wouldn't appear in the finished game, of course, but instead the arms and legs would be taken off and given to Blaziken, the final evolution of Torchic, the game's fire-type starter Pokemon. The Pokemon's body would become the basis for Latias and Latios, 2 legendary Pokemon that are almost identical except for their color scheme. It's fun to see what ideas Game Freak were tossing around while working on Ruby and Sapphire, and this Pokemon definitely looked a little bit strange, but I'm glad that we did get Blaziken, Latias, and Latios just from this one concept art. Next up for today's video is a Pokemon that got redesigned a couple of times, and it is the Fire Starts Pokemon for Ruby and Sapphire, Torchic. So this early version of Torchic shows its lower body covered by an eggshell, with the fluff going all around its neck and wing-shaped ears. The other early design is nearly identical to the current Torchic, aside from the large floppy ears and a flame-shaped marking on the back of its head, rather than the final design's flame-shaped feathers on top of its head. I am glad that Torchic looks the way it does nowadays, but you can kind of see the process that it went through to become what it is today. Coming up next, we have Hitmontop, a Pokemon that took a drastic change from what it could have been to its final design. Now, the original Pokemon games introduced Hitmonlee and Hitmonchan, 2 fighting-type Pokemon that appear to not have any physical similarities in spite of their similar names. Pokemon Gold and Silver attempted to correct this by creating 2 new Pokemon in the Hitmon line, being Tyrogue, which is of course a baby Pokemon, and that can evolve into either Hitmontop, or Hitmonlee, or Hitmonchan. One design for a Pokemon though that was in development at one point for Gold and Silver suggests that the concept of a spinning Pokemon wasn't initially intended to be part of the Hitmon family. If anything, the early design looks more like a Clefairy or a Clefable kind of mashup with loads of legs and then of course a spinning top. At some point in development of Pokemon Gold and Silver, this earlier design was scrapped, but the concept of a spinning Pokemon lives on in Hitmontop, which I'm very glad happened because looking at Clefairy spinning around, in regards to looking at Hitmontop spinning around, I'm glad that Hitmontop exists and the monstrosity on the left doesn't. Next up for today's video, we have Giraffe Rig. Now, of course, Giraffe Rig has a name that is a palindrome, which means that it is spelled the same forwards as it is backwards. And that is kind of what the original design for this Pokemon was as well. The original design, which was of course scrapped, was a giraffe-inspired Pokemon with 2 identical heads, which obviously gives a far more logical reason for the palindrome name that it obviously got later on its design. According to the early artwork, one head may have been a slightly darker colour, although this might have simply been an attempt at shading. It's not known why the original idea for this Pokemon was ditched, but the name lives on as a reference to a Pokemon that was ultimately scrapped. Just like the Blaziken, Latios, and Latias mashup we went over earlier on in the video, we have another Pokemon that was split into multiple, and that is the Raikou and Suicune cross. So, a lot of Pokemon in the second generation of games went through a lot of design changes before Pokemon Gold and Silver were finally released, as you know by now. And one of those was the legendary beasts. So, like Red and Blue before, Gold and Silver features 3 legendary Pokemon that could only be caught in certain circumstances. An early design, though, by artist Mueno Sato, I hope I said that right, however, suggests that there may not have always been 3 such beasts. The scrap Pokemon features blue skin and a flowing cloud-like purple fur like Suicune, whilst also having an electrical attribute and stripe similar to Raikou. While this design doesn't appear in the final game, it appears that elements were taken from it for the other 2 legendary beasts. Finishing off today's video with one of the craziest design changes in all of Pokemon is Hydreigon. Now, the 5th generation of Pokemon games introduced the pseudo-legendary Dino, Zweilous, and Hydreigon evolution line. According, though, to Ken Sugimori, one of the main artists behind the Pokemon designs, these 3 creatures went through a lot of different changes before their finalized appearance. An earlier version exists but has never been seen which had a military design. So according to Sugimori, at first, 3 incorporated an army tank motif, and the marks that look like a conveyor belt on the upper part of Zweilous' legs are the remnants of that. Sugimori states that these 3 designs didn't quite work and they were eventually put to sleep before a new set of more traditional dragons were designed, which incorporated some elements from the earlier designs but ditched the army tank theme. Would have been kind of crazy to open up a Pokeball and a bloody tank pops out, but that is what Hydreigon was at some point before Generation 5 was released. With that though, it does wrap up today's video. I hope you guys did enjoy taking a look at some of these Pokemon designs that used to look completely different. If you did enjoy the video, drop a like down below. Leave a comment about the Pokemon design that you are glad that got changed, and subscribe if you're brand new. We do daily Pokemon content on the channel. With all of that out of the way though, thank you so much for watching. Have a fantastic rest of your day, and until next time, peace.